Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I already know what the deal is. It's Marshayla Monique.
All alone with my fears, I'm wondering if I have to do.
Man, Marshayla, I'm the young baby.
There's no reason why
Still here with
I
us.
sleep late last night.
And today, it's kind of late actually. I don't know what I'm watching. It's kind of late. It's not even late. It's 10 o'clock. But I wanted to record this video. I just wanted to get it out of the way because I was kind of like, I feel like this is like a really good video because it's pretty much gonna be my first story time, and it's also gonna be a video that just like raises awareness on like being safe on the internet and just like the weirdos out there. So story that I'm going to tell today, a lot of people don't even know about this story. I actually just told like my family about it. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I'm kind of just going to like touch the surface of the situation because there was a lot to it, but I just don't feel comfortable sharing it all. This is something that I can talk about that can just let people know, just don't trust everyone that you meet on the internet. The internet is a sick place. People can pretend to be someone that they're not. People can be themselves, but people can also pretend to be someone that they're not. So this will be my experience, my horror story with using Tinder. So Tinder dating nightmare. So let's get right into it. So this story takes place back in 2015 when I was 18 years old, freshly 18. So this happened around November, December-ish. I had just graduated high school. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I did not go straight to college. I waited a year to go to college because I was just like, whatever, like I'm not going to school. Like I said in my Q&A video, school was not for me. So I took a year off, and of course, like around that age, I was probably talking like 10 people at once. And I had stopped doing that, and I had went through like a depression phase for various reasons. So I've always loved the internet. Literally everything about the internet, like I love. Ever since I was able to get on the computer, like I've been obsessed with the internet. And not obsessed to the point where I let it consume me. It's just like a very interesting place to me. There's so much you can do on it. There's so much to learn. I just love everything about the internet. But it can be good and it can be bad. So around this time, 2015, is when Tinder, from my memory, had just started like popping. Like people were getting on it, and it was mainly used for college student like hookups, link ups, whatever. So I hopped on it because I was planning on going to community college just because I was like, let me just go, like whatever. So I ended up getting on it, and I had like my little picture, whatever. I kept it short and sweet in my bio, like regular stuff, because I didn't know that Tinder was like people just want to like hook up and like mess around on there. I just took it as like whatever, like I'm getting on a dating website like blackpeoplemeet.com or like eHarmony, like I don't know. So I got on it, and I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't on like heavy, but I think you like swipe right if you like someone or swipe left if you don't like them. I don't remember what it was. So like the people that you thought was cute, you swipe right. People that you thought was like ugly or whatever, you swipe left. So, I mean, there was a lot of people, and then, like, somehow, if y'all both swiped right, you ended up matching so you can message each other. So, I got a lot of messages or whatever, and, again, I didn't think anything of it, but I was at a point that I was really, really lonely, and I felt like I needed someone, which is one of my biggest mistakes I've ever made. And as I stated in my self-care video, you don't need anyone to keep you happy. Literally, you really don't. You can make yourself happy. And even though we may go through like some rough patches in our life, just like push through and don't let people take advantage of you, pretty much. So I had got on it because I was lonely, and a couple of people, like, we exchanged numbers and we would like text and stuff, but nothing too serious. So eventually, like a month into using it, I was messaging this one guy. Should I give him a name? We're gonna name him Timmy. Timmy? Yeah. We're gonna name him Timmy. So Timmy messaged me, and it was on some cool stuff, like just like getting to know each other, whatever. And the conversation went on for like a week or two, and then we exchanged actual phone numbers. So we would text all the time, FaceTime all the time, and like I started to like kind of like him, kind of started to like him, and he started to like me too. So we followed each other on like all of our social media and stuff like that. And eventually, this is back in my bold days. Now, like y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know like I really don't be linking with people at all. Like I just don't be linking with people. But like this is back in my bold days. So like if somebody want to scoop me, like you can scoop me. I don't care. And I was 18 and I felt like I was grown and I could do whatever I want. Meanwhile, still in my mom's crib. But yeah, so we linked up a couple times and like we did like stuff like go to the movies and go out to eat and like little stuff like that. And then like he I wasn't, honestly, at 18, I still had a curfew. I wasn't allowed out. I had to sneak out. Like, my mom was very strict. But I wasn't allowed out, so I would sneak out. And, at 18, it's ghetto. But, I would sneak out and we would go, like, to the movies or out to eat. And he lived, like, 45 minutes away from my crib. Like, he lived, like, I'm not even going to say the area, but he lived like 45 minutes away from my crib, and I didn't drive. He drove, so he would come and pick me up and stuff, and we would go and do that or whatever. And it was all cool. Like for a couple months, it was all, not even a couple months, because it didn't go on for more than 2 months. So it was a month of us talking, and he was really, really cool. But like eventually, I started to like go over his house and stuff, and this is when I had started community college. So I would go over there and do homework and stuff like that, and it was cool. Like I met his brother. So he was 21 years old. Timmy was 21 years old and I was only 18. So he was on a whole nother level than me, and also his mom was in the military, so like she was never around. So I would always go over there and it would just be him and his brother just like taking care of themselves. The house would be jacked up. They would be on the game. They wouldn't be doing laundry, and I would just be like sitting there doing my homework, because like eventually I started to feel like awkwardness, because I'm just like, they don't have no one here. Like they don't know what they're doing. This crib isn't clean or whatever. But I was always afraid because I didn't have a car and I had no way home. He was my way home. So a little bit more into us talking, like into 2 months of us talking, he started to like act like we were like dating and stuff, and he would like try to like buy me stuff, and he would make me feel like I had an ultimatum to hang out with him, and I really didn't want to hang out with him all the time, because for one, my mom was strict and I couldn't sneak out all the time. And the times that I did sneak out, I told him that I was just allowed to do whatever I wanted, and I wasn't. But yeah, so he wanted to like see me every single day, and I'm like, I don't want to see you every day. Keep in mind, like after 2 months of us talking, I deleted the Tinder app, because I'm like, oh, like I'm just talking to him, whatever. And yeah, so he wanted to hang out all the time. I wasn't with that. And eventually he would like start like showing up at my job, and this is when I worked at Target. So yeah, I worked at Target, and he would like show up to my job and like offer to take me home. And my job was about 20 minutes away. Hold on, y'all. I have a really, really, really bad toothache. Anyways, my job was about 20 minutes away from my house. So I would usually get on a bus or I would get an Uber. But the Ubers were really expensive. So like sometimes I would ask someone to pick me up. And then other times he would just like show up when I got off work. Like he would just be there waiting. And in Target, like I was a cashier and like I worked at guest services, and then there was a little like cafe area where you could like sit and stuff. And there'd be times I would get off work and like he would just be there. And like I didn't talk to him at all. I didn't know how all my shifts were always the same. I would get off at like 10 o'clock, I think 10 or 11. So I have to catch the last bus. But I would get off work and he would just be there. I was like, okay. So like I don't know why I felt like obligated to like let him take me home. And then he would take me home, and then he would want to sit outside the house, and I'm like, yo, like I gotta go inside, like it's getting late and I've been at work all day, like I'm tired, I don't want to sit in the car, have a car combo. So eventually he would let me go, and then like throughout the night he would just like blow up my phone, and this all came out of nowhere. And it was like, I didn't think we were like dating. Like I thought we were just like chilling, like, you know, like literally just chilling. But he would just like blow up my phone and then like call me back to back to back to back. And it started to get scary because he would leave me voicemails like, you need to answer your phone. Like, answer your phone. Like, why aren't you answering your phone? And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, you're calling me 10, 15 times and I'm not answering. Like, obviously, like, I don't want to talk to you. But, like, back then I didn't really, like, speak up for myself. I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, like, I fell asleep, whatever. He said, well, you need to make sure that you have your phone. You need to have your sound on so that you know when I'm calling. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. That continued. And when it started to get to the point like that, I started to, like, kind of just, like, fade away. But, like, he knew where I lived. He knew where I worked. So I just had to, like, I didn't overthink it. I didn't think too much about it. But, like, he knew wherever I was, and he knew what school I went to as well. I remember this one day, I was at work, and just a regular day, I think it was probably like a Thursday or a Friday, because I remember everything so clear. Thursday or Friday, and I'm just working, and I'm on the cash register, and I'm looking through the aisles, and I'm looking through the aisle in front of me, and I was like, is that him? Like, watching me through the aisle? Like, just like, and then, like, when he caught me staring at him, he tried to act like he wasn't doing anything. Keep in mind, like I said, he lived 45 minutes from where I stay. So, why are you all the way out? Why would you come shopping at this Target? Because there's a Target out in his neighborhood. So, I'm like, is he sitting there watching me? Like, so I ignored it. And I continued on with my shift. And, like, he just doesn't leave. And then it got to the point where, like, I'm like, yo, like, he's really weird. And I end up telling one of my friends that I work with about it. And she caught the bus as well. But it was like when I got off work, he was sitting over in the cafe area where, like, the lights were off, like, just, like, looking like a creep. I was like, what the heck? Like, and I was telling her, like, let's just go, like, walk to the bus stop with me. Like, I'm scared, like, he's being weird. And then that night I got home and he started calling me again. And this time he called me like 20 times. And I had actually fell asleep this night after, like, I just let it, I was like, whatever, like, I'm going to sleep, I'm tired. And I woke up at like 3 in the morning and he left me a voicemail saying that he was going to kill my whole family if I didn't answer the phone. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what is happening. I answered the phone and, well, he ended up calling me, and I answered the phone. He's like, why aren't you picking up my phone calls? I was like, I literally don't want to talk to you. Like, you're doing way too much. Like, you're getting weird. Like, I didn't think he was like that. He's like, no, like, you're my girl. Like, you need to be picking up the phone. Like, I don't have nobody but you. Like, you know my mom's not around. And just, like, saying all this crazy stuff, like, making me feel bad. So I'm like, okay, like, I'm sorry, like, whatever. And I left it at that, and we hung up that night. Like, he was cool. The next day at work, I don't think I talked to him that morning, but he showed up at my job again and was watching me through the aisles again. So I'm just like, all right, like, this is getting weird. Like, at this point, like, I gotta stand up for myself. And I couldn't tell my family because I just felt like I just couldn't. I'm just like, whatever, like, I'll just handle it myself, whatever. Even though I should have said something to somebody because I could have got, like, a restraining order or whatever, or you could have got arrested. But he came to my job watching me through the aisles again. And once again, I asked my friend to walk to the bus stop with me. And she did. And then I get home. I'm tired again, so I go to sleep. Wake up 3 in the morning, missed calls. And voicemails of him, like, crying. Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, me and you are supposed to be together. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm just like, okay, let me call him. I call him. He doesn't answer. So I go back to sleep. I go back to sleep for like another hour. So 4 in the morning, I ended up waking up and I get a call from him and I caught the call and I answer and he's just crying. He's crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? Because he sounded like he was like scared. So I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? He was like, I crashed my mom's car. Like, my mom was going to kill me. Like, I crashed my car. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, are you cool or whatever? He's like, yeah, I'm cool. And, I'm like, okay, like, what are you about to do? He's like, I don't know, like, I have to call my mom. And I'm like, okay, like, do what you gotta do. Like, I hope you're straight, whatever. And I hang up because I'm just like, I didn't know how to take it. Like, I didn't want him to get in a car accident, but it just sounded really fishy. So eventually, he called me and it came out that he crashed his mom's car, purposely to get my attention because I wasn't answering the phone. And that was a final straw for me. I'm just like, Like, I can't do this. I'm like, I blocked him on everything. Like, I blocked him on Tinder. I blocked him on Facebook, Twitter, anything I had him on, I blocked him. And after that is when I ended up meeting my ex, which was another bad situation. But that was just a short story to just like let y'all know that like there are a lot of weird people on the internet, and people will pretend to be somebody that they're not, just in general. Just in general. And Tinder is something that I haven't been on since 2015. And I'll probably never get on it again because it was just a traumatizing experience. And there's a lot more to the situation, like I said before, that I'm just not going to talk about because I'm not comfortable with it. But I just want everyone to be careful and be cautious, especially if you're young. Don't meet up with people. And if you do meet up with people, make sure that someone has your location, like, at all times. And make sure that, like, one of your close friends has your location, knows what you're doing, even if you don't want to tell your parents, which, I mean, sometimes when you're young, you want to sneak around and you don't want your parents to, like, be in your business. Just make sure one of your close friends knows where you are, because you can get stuck in a situation that can change you forever. Or you get stuck in a situation, you can get killed. Like, that situation, I am glad that I'm here to tell my story because that person was really crazy. And like I said, there's more to the story, but I'm just happy that I made it out and I woke up and I realized that, like, this is just, like, this is weird. This is not okay. But just be cautious for the millionth time. Just please be cautious because it's really scary out here. And especially for females, like, it already sucks that we have to go through all this extra stuff. But just like being a female, it's just like you are kind of like a target because we're supposed to be like weaker and more vulnerable. And a lot of men take advantage of that and will take advantage of us. So it's like, it sucks and it's crazy, but that situation really woke me up, and it's something that sticks with me till this day. And I don't really talk much about it because I just keep it in the back of my mind. But it really stuck with me till this day, and I'm really cautious of everything that I do. And even when I used to have some friends that like used to get on Tinder, I would tell them, like, just make sure you're careful. Like, don't be meeting up with random people. Just like make sure you really know that person, because a lot of people have really bad intentions, and it's hard for me to break that cycle because I've kind of made myself believe that everyone has bad intentions. So it's just like a working process. And like I said, I was 18 when that happened. I'm 23, and it's still something that haunts me in the back of my mind. So it's crazy. That's all I have for y'all. I just want to tell that quick little story. This is one of many stories that I will be telling on my channel. And like I said, this is going to be a channel where I give advice, I'm gonna tell stories, but I also want to talk about like touchy subjects just to keep everyone safe. And if you don't have someone to talk to about certain things, like, I'm here. Like, I have a lot of stories. I've been through a lot of things. I'm only 23, but I've seen a lot and I did a lot. So this is me being completely transparent with y'all. This is something that I really wanted to do, and I know some people may be like, oh, you're telling too much business, but that's what I wanted to do. I want to be that person for someone that doesn't have someone, and I want people to know that it's okay if you go through things, you'll get through. Trauma does suck, but you're way stronger than that. So thank y'all so much again. It is always a pleasure, honey. And don't ask I'm wearing a jacket. It's cold in my apartment, and I'm not turning the air off because it gets hot. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notifications on so you can get alerted when I post a video. And follow all of my social media platforms. I'm gonna try to post every Monday. We'll see. I'm gonna post this one as soon as I edit it, which is probably gonna be like tonight. So yes, stay tuned. You already know what it is, and y'all already know I'm coming with more heat. So yeah.